Hello, America. Welcome to Inform TV. Today, we're going to talk about an important merger that just occurred recently. And I think we should be very concerned about such a merger. It's a merger between Disney and 21st Century Fox. I believe it's a violation of antitrust laws. And I think it's important for us to realize the importance of these antitrust laws that we have in this country. Antitrust laws prevent certain people, small groups of people, from having exorbitant amounts of power and influence over our society, and in a way have a monopoly on different industries, such as if two companies such as Comcast, Time Warner, Roadrunner, and AT&T got together, which means DirecTV as well, they all combined, that'd be too much power controlled by a few group of people, and they can set prices. They can shut other people out of the market because it's their business. They literally created so to speak, a monopoly on that sort of thing, internet and communications and data. Now, for us today, we have another type of merger, which literally controls 92% of what we see in the box office today. And that's incredible. That's the merger between Disney and 21st Century Fox. That's just too much power in a few hands of people. You realize that means Disney, the politics of Disney, cannot infiltrate Fox Entertainment and everything. Now, the only thing that's not being included, and as you can see what's happening, they're isolating Fox News. They're keeping them out from the Fox family because the goal, of course, is to control. They realize media and entertainment seems to be what is driving America. It controls America. Entertainment, what you watch on TV, your pastimes, what you try to escape into, all the various talk shows and all the dramas you see, the sitcoms, the movies, all that now will be in the hands of a smaller group of people. There's not any variety at all, and that's too much power in one group of people's hands. The millionaires and billionaires are just gleefully excited about such a deal because they can control the messaging and have the most market share in all of America. This should be troubling to all Americans because that means your freedom of speech, your freedom of expression can be now violated. Okay. And I believe that we need to do something. We need to stand up as Americans. And we know that President Trump is our president. Well, we also know he also met with the gentleman who owns 21st Century Fox, Rupert Murdoch, and they were buddying up, chuckling up, thinking this is a great deal for you, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think he understands that what is going to happen. I'm more of a futurist, so I look at trends, I look at things. So some people think I may be able to predict the future in some cases, but I won't go that far. But we can put two and two together, and we can see what's going on here. Let's read this article here. And it's coming from New York. The Walt Disney Company announced Thursday that it will acquire the majority of assets from rival 21st Century Fox, a mega merger that aims to reset the balance of power in an industry under siege from Silicon Valley. The merger pairs Disney, the number one studio at the box office and company behind massive hits such as The Avengers and Star Wars reboots, with the number three studio, which is Fox, which has produced the X-Men and Avatar franchise, as well as a range of mid-budget crowd pleasers and critically acclaimed films. It also brings brands such as FX, National Geographic, The Simpsons into the same fold as ESPN and ABC. Now, do you understand what's going on now? You know what happened to ESPN? It's become completely saturated by politics, liberalism. It's all the leftism. And now all that entertainment, and ABC, of course, with its leftism and Disney, is all going to be influenced now through all FX is now in National Geographic and The Simpsons. All that stuff that Fox had will now be controlled by those organizations. You talk about protesters and stuff. It's ridiculous. Bowing down, by the way, to the national anthem. And then let's talk about that for a second because, ESPN is just saying all these people who are bowing down to the national anthem, they're being so persecuted. It's a good thing to bow down before the national anthem. And we know reality is that they claim to be protesting due to the idea that there's a lot of police shootings and blacks are taking the full brunt of these shootings, even though majority of the people who are being shot are white. They're not talking about that. They just want to create a racial issue and make a statement through cultural Marxism. And the reality is, though, if you look at the reverse psychology of it, why in the world would they want to bow down when the national anthem is being played? It's kind of like a reverse psychology, so to speak. In America, we stand in honor of the national anthem because we thank all those who came before us to give us the freedom we have. But these people, being that they're cultural Marxists, believe that we should bow down to government. So they're already creating the situation where when the national anthem is played, and when the socialist dictator gets up in public, you're already learning how to bow down to your government. Bow down and submit to Big Brother. Bow down, you slave. Get all the black people to bow down and submit to the government authority. You know, they are a mockery to the black community. All these people bowing down, like they're worshiping government now, worshiping the government. It is ridiculous. And this needs to stop right now. It's unbelievable. Okay, but I digress. And so we have all these giants. As part of Disney's gamble, the only a company of this size could effectively thwart a furious charge into the business of entertainment. Well-financed technology giants such as Netflix, Apple, and Google. All right, so this is a huge thing right now, and we need to be aware that it should not be done. It's this horrible merger. Disney will pay up to $51.4 billion for Fox, which for its part will spin off Fox Broadcast Networks, the Fox News Channel, and Fox Business Channel, the Fox Studio lot with Los Angeles, and several national sports channels, leaving them in the hands of the 21st Century Fox chairman Rupert Murdoch and his family. So then basically the Murdochs are going to control, the brothers, of course, are very liberal anyways. So they're going to control all these other assets here. Fox News, Fox Business, a few satellite news channels throughout the country, some sports channels, and that's it. All right. But they're giving away all of their entertainment to Disney. Robert Iger, the chairman executive of Disney, who had been discussed as a potential 2020 presidential candidate, hint, hint, hint. Y'all understand what's going on now? Your presidential candidate, Mr. Robert Iger, let's say call him Iger, but his name is Iger, whatever how they pronounce his name, chairman executive of Disney, who had been discussed as a potential 2020 presidential candidate, will continue with the combined firm through 2021. Now, you understand what's happening. This is all a setup for the next presidency. He's going to be an ultra-leftist, and he's going to be the precursor to socialism. And because he controls so much of the media industry now, by this deal right here, you talk about the billionaires controlling everything. They control everything. Everything you watch, they're going to control it. And they're going to know what you're watching because they can now see what you're on your computer now. They've got access to your computer technology. You're downloading the movies, and they can now do so much against you, and so much they can control you and influence you politically. It puts too much power in just a small group of people's hands. You understand what I'm saying? This is huge, people. This is huge, and this should not be accepted. Trump should reject this, even though he made buddy-buddied up deals with Rupert Murdoch. This is a trap, and it's going to cause Trump to lose the election if this goes through, possibly, with all the stuff that's going on today. I mean, you talk about evil. You got Evil Incorporated buying up all of this entertainment industry, which we know is what's very addictive and what draws people nowadays. As days get evil and people don't want to face reality, they hide into entertainment. So entertainment now has power over so many people because they refuse to think for themselves. We live in a world just like that today. And I'm encouraging us all to stand against this merger. And there's more to this too. This is a conglomerate. The conglomerate is building up an arsenal of programming in hopes of fending off those firms' forays into the content market, okay? So they want to keep people out of the market. They want to, if anyone wants to create a market, they just want to keep people out. They control the technology, they control the avenues, the stations. They can shut people out of this market. They can say, okay, we conservatives, we don't like your voice. We want you silent so you won't have any say in our organization because you are a competing voice. Our voice is communist China and Russia. That's all we're going to listen to now. Here we got Bezos here. And we're on Washington Post too. So I mean, they're actually leaking some stuff. I didn't even know about this guy, this Titan, this Iger guy, thinking about a run for president. We know that Bezos was thinking about running for president, but now he can have another person running in place of him. These are media moguls. And so being that Trump got elected, they said, well, if this guy can get elected, he's a celebrity. Sure enough, us executives who control the media industry can now get elected. And now we can have all power in our hands. You got Bezos, who controls trade, buying and selling. You got people who are entertained. Back in the day of the Roman Empire, they had the Colosseums where people were being butchered and slayed. And the content in those days was very vile and very live. And yet that was that was their bread and circuses. That was their distraction. Meanwhile, many people are tuned out. And we got to not be a tuned out American people. We've got to think for a change. Otherwise, we're going to lose everything in our society. That means not only conservatives, but also liberals too, because you got people who are not beholden to you. They don't care about the country. They care about their profits. They care about not just profits, the money, but their profits. They're those who speak into the culture. They care about what can they use to social engineer a dumbed down people. We already talked about marijuana in some other videos. It's a way, it's a drug that's designed to dumb down. But make no mistake about it. Marijuana is going to be pushed into these channels. They're going to promote the drug, and more people will be dumbed down than ever before. And the addicted won't care anyways. I've talked to one guy who I work with. He says, some people just don't care about how dangerous marijuana is. They know it. They may intellectually know it, but they get to a place where they just don't care about their health anymore. They've just given up. And he admitted to me that he just gave up. He just doesn't care anymore. And that's the insidious nature of marijuana. And that's also the insidious nature of entertainment addiction. Any kind of addiction can get you to that place where you just give up on life. You give up on your country, give up on your family. And we as a people need to fight back. You know what I'm saying? We need to fight back against this. This is serious. You got to wake up, people. When you have all this power and control in the entertainment industry in a few hands of people, you should be concerned. And we need to contact the government. We need to contact, we don't contact the White House. You got to contact the Antitrust Department of the U.S. government. Okay, it's the United States Department of Justice. I have this right here. It's the link. They had just today, they changed the link because I went on the site before and it was a bad link. And so I had actually sent my email out. I sent the bad link and the new link, and they actually corrected it right away somehow. Okay, so now it's corrected. And this is the email address right here. You want to email antitrust.atr@usdoj.gov. All right, that's what you need to email right now. And this is the information you'll need. Department of Justice, Antitrust Division, Office of Operations, 950 Pennsylvania Avenue, Northwest, room 3322, Washington, D.C., 20530. Okay, and we can write a letter there. The best way to do it to expedite is to email them. Email them now, folks. Let them know you're concerned about this because this is too much power in the hands of too few people. And I'm hoping that the DOJ is seriously stopping this transaction from occurring because only they can stop it, ultimately. Only the Department of Justice can stop this. And that means those who are in charge of the Department of Justice. It's completely sinister. And, they may just allow this to happen. They know it's a consolidation of power, and some of them don't care about it. I mean, they just stopped a Comcast merger with AT&T. It was just recently going on, and they said, no, this is too much power in the hands, and they talk about CNN and blah, blah, blah. But you're talking about entertainment. Entertainment is more influential than it's just knowledge, unfortunately. It's because people are addicted to this stuff. They want to tune out. They don't want to know the reality of the news, some of the people. They want to just know, oh, I want to get by throughout the day. The world's getting bad and bad and bad. So let me just entertain myself with XX Factor and American idolatry and stuff, and bow down to the images they put on the TV set. And this is where people are at right now. And unless we have a revival or something happens where people wake up and say, media is not my God, entertainment is not my God, we're going to be in trouble as a country. And therefore, we have to hold people accountable for putting too much power in the hands of few people. Let's go here to this one. All right. We have the New York Daily News talking about this issue. Okay. Disney and Fox are slated to become part of one giant conglomerate thanks to billion-dollar deal announced on Thursday, which would include 20th Century Fox's movie and TV studios. Right. As part of the $52.4 billion acquisition of most of Fox, Disney CEO Bob Iger said on Good Morning America that the deal focuses on a possible streaming service between two. He seemingly ruled out his potential run for president. He seemingly ruled out. Of course, he's not really ruling it out, potential for president, at least for 2020. Okay, so he may allow Trump to keep in there for another 4 years, possibly. But guess who might become the next person running for president? This media giant who can now prepare the people's minds with the movies and everything about a new type of leader, a socialist leader, a world dominating leader who will influence the world and yet bow down to Russia and China. Okay, this is where leftism leads you. It eventually leads you to lower borders. They'll probably have movies now created about the importance of having no borders. They'll probably talk about X-Men figures, and X-Men now we're saying we need to shut down the borders. We need to have open borders, open societies, so then the terrorists can come in and just take over. Or wouldn't it be nice to have a utopia, a one world government, one world currency? Wouldn't it be nice? Yeah, would it be nice to lose your mind and lose your house and lose your freedom, lose your constitution? That's where they're getting the countries at. And when you have all the media industries, all the news and everything in entertainment particularly becomes so message oriented on socialism and communism, the glories of communism, of oppressing people with government, then you have a problem on your hands, America. You have a problem. And this should not be having too much power and too few hands. And I wish many of my liberal friends would wake up to the fact that you don't want a tyrannical government controlled by the few. You talk about it, that you don't want the few to control us, Big Brother and all this stuff, and yet you're working for it. You're seeking it. You vote for candidates that support that. It's like you're part of a new type of controlled subject class. And now they're telling you, oh, there's no gender, there's no anything anymore. You're just one big mass of people like worker drones, head shaved off. You have just gnomes, just no identity whatsoever, no American culture whatsoever, no liberty mindedness, no intellectual freedom, no economic freedom. It's just we're all the same, bland, 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 bland. Everyone wearing gray, no color at all. Okay, that's where we're getting at, and that leads us to tyranny, especially if the people are, for the most part, mindless and devoid of connecting with others, like what's happening with Facebook, internet. I know many of you are all watching this on Facebook now, but in other forms, but we can't lose our country. We cannot allow this sort of policy and these sort of mergers to be at place. Okay, so, we've been in a process of launching a direct-to-consumer service. This one of the primary priorities of the company right now to give us the ability to reach customers directly, Iger said. This is Good Morning America host George Stephanopoulos, who was Hillary Clinton's press secretary at one time. If this means Disney is trying to compete with Netflix, if this means they're trying, so basically they're trying to say that they're trying to go directly to the customer. So that means they're trying to compete with Netflix. Okay. Among the first launches will be an ESPN direct service in 2018 and Disney service in 2019. Now that's something, isn't it? So this ESPN, okay, the people are now not wanting to see the games now on TV because we're losing so much revenue now. Now we can just directly stream the rebellion against our country, the hatred for America and our hatred for the police to the people directly now. Just like some of them directly stream the pornography or whatever, it's just a terrible situation that's going to happen, in Disney service. And we know what's part of Disney too. This clearly will jumpstart those efforts, give us more content, more producing capabilities for those services. We're not really looking to necessarily reach a scale of Netflix, but certainly aim to be, an able competitor of theirs. But more importantly, we believe that this is the way of the future to be able to reach consumers directly, he continued. All right? So, this is the guy right here. This man right here. So this guy may one day try to run for president. He's a media super giant. And unfortunately, as American people, we need to fight again because the war never ends. The issues that we face in America never ends because there are always people either trying to destroy us from the inside out or from the outside in. And these people may be the inside outers, okay? So again, they're going to be acquiring 21st Century Fox, Empire, FX, National Geographic, which I always like that, National Geographic. Will give Disney access to shows like long-running popular comedy, The Simpsons, and of like. Fantastic Four, The Avengers, merge it all into one. So that's what's happening, folks. Again, I encourage you all to contact the U.S. Department of Justice, and you want to send your comments to this email address, antitrust.atr@usdoj.gov. Of course, send it to Department of Justice, Antitrust Division, Office of Operations, 950 Pennsylvania Avenue, Northwest, room 2244, Washington, D.C., 20530. And that's where you need to send it to your comments to so that they can say, no, we don't agree with this. This is a violation of antitrust laws. It puts too much power in the hands of too few people. And because let's say these people who are now in charge have buddy terms with other foreign countries right now. Where's the Logan Act in this? How can we address this issue when the DOJ is already colluding with Russia in some cases? It's almost a loss of words where we start, but we have to start somewhere. And maybe Jeff Sessions will be able to hear what's going on. He'll say, yeah, we need to put an end to this. This is a violation of antitrust laws. We have to stay independent. Trump, we can't delve it. You can't use your presidency now to influence these mergers and things. We can't allow it. We just cannot allow it, people. And there needs to be people in the DOJ that wakes up and say, you can't allow even, Trump to influence things so that such mergers occur where you're giving power to old friends who are billionaires and millionaires and buddying up with them. It makes no sense, okay? So anyways, folks, thank you. God bless America. And continue to stay tuned for the latest developments of this particular case. There are many more fights, but this is the fight we should take. All right? Thank you. Bye-bye.